Yeah, it's cold as shit here too.
Hell yeah, man. I found the well, me and the girl that rents the house behind here, she was out in the garage yesterday. We were out there, and she was digging up in the loft, and we found a kerosene heater up there. It's still in the box, and my mom swears that it's broken or something or whatever. It probably just needs to be put together, or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to find a place around here to get kerosene from, which fuck who knows. I mean, I got better luck striking oil, probably up in these mountains.
I remember like growing up, my grandma having like 2 or 3 of those kerosene heaters in her house, and me and Aaron just running around, just running past these open flames. Nobody gave a fuck.
Yep, sitting all real close to them.
Yeah.
Everything smelling like kerosene.
Yeah, get warm, get burnt, whatever.
One wrong fucking move and the whole house goes up like a
Right. Just three of them. All of it.
Yet we're all warm though. Now that's warmth. I was thinking about just setting the whole garage on fire. She can't complain about being cold then. We have like one of them little fire pits. Them little like bronze or brass things. You just put wood in, it's got a lid on it, whatever. Fuck, I was even thinking about taking that in the garage. We got wood to burn out there and shit. And I'm always burning shit out in the yard. I got a big fire thing out in the yard because there's a big field out back that I'm always burning shit.
Hey, Aaron.
What's up? Hey, Money.
Hey.
So what do we got going on here?
Let's see. Now that we've regaled people with stories of kerosene and childhood non-safety, it's 11/5, November 5th, 1996 is the episode of ECW we are reviewing this week on Reliving the Extreme. Nate Maxon, your host here, along with my brother Aaron.
No.
And Chad, he gets to doing the show in the house, Austin, this week.
Yeah. Hey, if I have to go to the bathroom or something, I'm just going to go get my mom to step in and fill in for me because she did watch the show alongside me in the living room with the usual questions. What is he doing that for?
This New Jack fellow is quite intimidating.
Yeah. What's he doing? Who is she? She's ugly.
Is that a hooker?
Beuller. Not Beuller.
So
Beuller McGuillicuty.
Beuller McGillicuty's Day Off. It's a whole other movie. However, in that movie, Tommy Dreamer would still be wearing the same pajama pants he was wearing at the end of this week's show. So
I can't get this guy out of my life, dude. I mean, in the morning, he's filling in on Busted Open every day. When Bully doesn't want to do it or he has something better to do, I got to listen to Tommy Dreamer during the day. And now it's Thursday night, and I'm watching TNA. Who do you think's going to be on TNA tonight, making a guest appearance in his sweatpants?
Well, Francine's Beuller. That would mean Dreamer's Simone. So who's Cameron?
Oh, I don't know. Wouldn't that be Raven? I mean, who would Raven?
Maybe Mikey?
Yeah, maybe. I could definitely want to see a recast of this one. Wow, I don't know.
Raven could be. Who's the principal?
Oh, that's got to be like Todd or somebody, some jabroni or Alfonso.
I was just gonna say Bill Alfonso's the principal.
Yeah, he'd be.
What's his name? Rooney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got the whistle. Always got to end up looking stupid.
I mean, good on you, Chad, for right off the bat this week. I don't even have to wait. The name of the episode right there, Beuller McGillicuddy. We don't have to. No anticipation for that one this week because I don't think we're going to top it. But
JT's the secretary.
This movie needs to be recast.
Raven's Charlie Sheen's character. That's easy. I just got to figure out who's the sister.
Oh well, there's only you only got a couple people to choose from. I mean,
Mikey's the sister.
it ain't gonna be Sandman's wife,
No, it's Mikey.
dude. Seriously,
Him
can
and
they
Raven have a moment in the prison or in the police station. It's Mikey.
can they do something better with the makeup on Sandman's wife to make her look like a junkie? I mean, come on. When we get to that part, Jesus Christ.
I actually have in my notes here. Oh, look, another glimpse of Junkie Peaches.
Them peaches were bad.
That actually sounds like an old timey blues guy. Junkie Peaches.
Junkie Peaches. Sold his soul to the devil to learn how to play that steel guitar.
It's a punchline to a Benny Henman or Henny Youngman joke.
Junkie Peaches met with the devil at the crossroads, telling him to do the ham bone and play that harmonica.
One day, you're gonna get your Junkie Peaches.
Junkie Peaches played with legends like Louis Armstrong.
Junkie Peaches don't need no soul. He needs a paycheck.
No shit. In a bath. Sandman's kid's dirty. She's dirty. What a filthy.
All right, the title's getting bigger now. It's the Tales of Beuller, McGuillicuty, and Junkie Peaches.
and the Junkie Peaches.
The Junkie Peaches.
I gotta send that to my buddy, my buddy's brother, because he's in a band. I always, when we come up with names and stuff, like just stupid things that come up out of nowhere, I always send them to him for like song titles or shit like that. So I'll send that to him too. He'll use it. He don't even care what it's from. If he likes it, he'll just use it.
Well, like I said, November 5th, 1996 is the episode of ECW we're discussing this week. And this week we pretty much pick up right where we left off last week with Sandman busted open from the cane shot from Raven. Raven hits a DDT, pile drives Sandman through 2 stacked tables. And so it kind of gives you the second part of, because we didn't see all this last week. We just saw Raven hit the ring and hit Sandman with the DDT. But so just a continuation.
We see it every week.
We still haven't seen him crucified.
I don't think. Do they ever actually air that on TV?
No.
I didn't think they did. I think it's on the video. It might have been on the video, but I don't think.
I know it's on the video.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely not on Peacock. They knew it didn't make TV. Or I mean, at least the actual that I remember, the actual crucifix. I mean, all the setup was there, but I don't remember it actually airing.
Because it happens during this segment, right? Like after this is when
this is where Kurt said if he ever saw his image on any show like with that crucifixion, that it would be like he was going to sue or whatever. So that's why I thought they split it up. That's why I thought we were going to see it on this show, because they had Kurt on that one. And then I thought they cut it. And you're probably right. I might be thinking wrong. I thought it made it to TV. They just split it up so Kurt wasn't on an actual broadcast with a crucifixion.
He's stupid. What are they going to sue him? Sue who? Sue everyone. Who is he, Frank Rizzo?
This is. I was going to say this is pre-Perk Kurt Angle. So.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he don't care. After
that. Now he's probably like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
Crucify everyone. Kurt Rizzo.
It still brings one of my favorite lines ever in wrestling when Shane gets mad at Raven about it, and he was like, I didn't see you didn't like fasten him to a Star of David. Raven was like, yeah, I didn't. He would have rolled away. I mean,
I know, right? he'd be rolling down Swanson Avenue.
Yeah, why would I? He would have rolled away.
He's gonna roll on down the Swanson Avenue. I'd love to see that. Raven or somebody rolling down where all the cars are parked in the middle of the road and the side of the road are just coming.
Roll on down to Swanson Avenue.
Yep. All the fucking Jewish people in ECW chasing after it.
New Jack will get you higher.
Are we even talking about wrestling anymore?
I don't know. We're off the rails this whole episode. But Joey welcomes us to our TV episode here. And he talks about how at November to Remember, coming up in a couple of weeks, I believe. That's going to be November 16th. So anyway, Pitbull 2 has picked Tommy Dreamer to be his partner.
Shocker.
And TV champion Shane Douglas still has to pick his partner. And he's put a bounty out on Pitbull 2. And then I have a question here. We go into a handicap match. My question was for Chad because I don't know who the fuck is the Pittsburgh Steel team.
There's nobody.
Okay, I was going to say, I don't know if this is anybody I should know who they are or not. Because
no, they were either just two guys that were either from the school or helped put the ring up or something. Yeah, obviously you could tell they weren't classic workers.
Well, I just expected what I expected was I was gonna remember many moons ago when I was like, who the fuck is this Phi Delta Slam or whatever? And you're like, no, they were big in Florida, and I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't know. So that I didn't know if these dweebs were somebody I should know. But
no, they were hams. But dude, again, my first note for the whole entire show was, oh, that's great, it's Raven. To start off the show already. Here we go. At least it wasn't Dumb Dreamer.
No, he's still to come though.
Fuck yeah, he is. He won't go away, man. Jesus, dude. I wish he was rolling down Swanson Avenue on a fucking star from Subway or something.
Aaron, do you have any minutes from this segment that you wanted to roll through at all?
There's not really any because Shane's promo cuts into a bunch of it, so it was probably an ugly match, and they were just like, "Fuck it, let's just get to the end." And
it was probably long. It was probably too long. That's what I'm guessing. Yeah. It's just him beating up them two job guys, and
they probably bump awkward. They probably bumped awkwardly and shit. So they just
like,
well, we can't use that, but we can use the fall away slam, and that's what they did.
I doubt they did the same philosophy that they used for me and Benoit, where they edited off their offense. I don't think that happened.
We do have a note about the attack though, which we'll get there. But
yeah, because we come back from Douglas's promo, like Aaron said, and Shane Douglas and Francine are now out at ringside. Pitbull hits the fallaway slam and gets the win, and then Brian Lee attacks the Pitbull, and he and Shane beat him up. Stevie Richards, Meanie, and Nova come out, stack 3 tables, and by a production truck. It's not the EC. That show isn't in the ECW arena. I had that written down here, but I forgot to mention it. This show's actually in Middletown, New York.
Yeah, the Orange County Fair or whatever.
One of them big venues ECW always ran.
It's
the Madison Square Garden of Middletown.
I noticed when somebody, I don't know who it was, maybe it was these guys, when they went to the outside getting over to that trailer or whatever it was that they were going to do the choke slam off of. They went past like a men's room or something and it said T Petty, and I was like, is that for Ted Petty?
No, that's my note. It didn't. That's my note. It's on the truck. It's T Petty, and it says Middletown, New Jersey.
That's the ring.
I'm like,
that's the ring truck.
Ted Petty shit.
That's the ring truck.
I don't know why I thought it was on the wall. Okay.
No, it was on his
truck. A lot
truck.
more fucking sense now.
Ted's getting rent money he's still getting rent money from Paul.
Hell yeah, dude.
And then Paul
he ain't letting him use it for free no more because he's in WCW by now.
Paul's not sending him money, and Ted Petty's like, I haven't gotten any money for using my ring, Paulie. And Paulie's like, I'm sorry, I thought it was Tom Petty.
Well, I think that answers the question of who the Pittsburgh Steel team was. The guys that put the ring up. There we go.
He's like, I thought it was Tom Petty, and I was gonna say, the waiting's the hardest part.
Oh, good Lord.
Well, speaking of free falling,
Pitbull, he went free falling off the truck.
I don't know any Ted Petty songs.
He's a good Pitbull. He loves his mama.
And then Shane Douglas put him in the ambulance and said, "Don't come around here no more."
You guys got me. I don't know any Ted Petty songs.
Oh, all right. Anyway, yes.
Tommy Dreamer's in love with a girl on LSD. Sorry.
So I have a question here because I think if I'm not mistaken, we see. Okay, question. So they had the big choke slam through all the tables at the last event, the high incident. At this point, the choke slam through the tables. They're pretty much like, it seems like everybody's getting it. Like has it lost its luster already? Like, okay, are we already overdoing this fucking spot? You know what I mean?
Not when they haven't done it in Middletown, New York.
The thing is, like, it's still getting the reaction from the people. Maybe you shouldn't show it on TV so much, but it's still the spot right. Like people are coming to see. Because you got to think these are like house shows, so it's like WWE when they go on tour, they tour the hits. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's the same matches every night. They do the same spots. Everything's the same. I mean, you just ain't supposed to see it, But yeah, it's pretty much. Yeah, I understand.
And I see it from you guys' perspective too. For the live audience, of course, they want to see that live. But like I said, I don't know, just using it every week for a TV angle. Just everybody goes through tables.
Yep. It's Middletown's time to see it.
By the time they get to what's a market smaller than Middletown, Chad?
Oh, seriously? There in that area? I mean, shit. It's every block is like every block is like a different territory down there.
By the time they get to I was just saying everybody's going through the tables. So by the time they get to the smallest market, it's Damian Kane going through the tables. Everybody gets to go through the tables.
Yeah, they're putting some tables at Applebee's and stuff. Or they're not even breaking. They're just like them little square tables. They just breaking. They just bend in the middle. And just collapse.
Sal Balomo going through the.
I don't know if Damian Kane should be going through the table.
Sal Balomo goes to the table at Chili's.
He shouldn't even be taking your order at a table. Baby.
I'm sure you gotta move your body a little bit to be able to do that. He's got like them tight pants, like just like stiff. To be like being able to like bend into the bump or anything. He's just a stiff leather luau pano.
He's walking like Kramer when he wears dungarees for the first time. The boogity man.
All right, so where was I at here? Douglas locks a full Nelson in on Pitbull, tries to break his neck, and then Tommy Dreamer comes out and tries to make the save. And
finally shows up.
Yes,
like this guy's only been slammed into a wall, slammed into a truck, choke slammed off of some fucking moving trucks, and he's like, oh, maybe I should go now.
Yeah, he's been sitting back there going, yeah, he'll come back. He'll be okay. He'll be all right. He doesn't need me.
Dude, I thought the best part of that was when Pitbull was like laying on the ground, all of a sudden you see a random beer just splash him.
Yeah, I noticed that too. He goes through the tables and then insult to injury. Douche with stale beer.
Somebody just threw a whole beer on him. And hey, to his credit, he didn't sell it. He just laid there out of nowhere, a full beer just douses him. You idiot.
Yeah, you threw a full beer. Who's the dummy, right?
Yeah. He's hoping he made television. He's all flexing with his buddies. Yeah, look at me. I threw up. Wait a minute, that was $8.
All right. Well,
you just wasted the entire Pittsburgh Steel team's paycheck
on that idiot laying there who couldn't even get a good color job. He's even trying to rub his blood on the truck or whatever the hell it was, because he had barely hit a gusher, and Joey Styles said that Pitbull 2 was busted open before you even saw it. And he said he'd been busted open, and then when he finally showed, you had to look for it, because it hadn't really started bleeding yet. So then when he finally starts bleeding, he rubs his face all over Tom Petty's tour bus.
Well, we get Joey Styles after this segment expressing his disgust for Shane Douglas. And then that rolls us into a match. He pretty much says that, the footage from Middletown, they're getting, somebody, the hospital, blah, 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 the ambulance thing and everything. Anyway, I'm stuttering over my words here, but so we're going to go to a match, a pre-recorded match in the ECW arena. It's Louis Spicolli and Doug Furnas. And for a 5-minute match, this was a pretty damn good matchup between these two guys.
It should have been. I mean, I'm sure it had to have been longer than 5 minutes. I mean, don't you think? What?
Yeah, I mean, I was when it was over, I was expecting that it wasn't over yet. I was expecting the match to be longer.
Well, I mean, what happened? Didn't something happen after that?
Not with these guys. Spicoli just turned. I think wasn't Furnas trying to like spear him or something, and he turned.
Yeah, because like the
Spicoli driver and
essentially the gist was that Louis got the win, kind of out of nowhere because Furnas was kind of fucking him up and had him down. And then he went to give him, it was the 3-point stance thing. He went to do the 3-point stance to give him a spear. And Louis hit him with a surprise DVD and got the win. And I mean, it was a good finish, good match. But yeah, like you guys, or like Chad was saying, I expected it to be longer. But I didn't see any.
Doug underestimated him.
I didn't see any cut. Unless there was a commercial at some point, and that's how they shortened it. But I didn't see like a hard cut through the match that they edited it too bad.
Yeah, but 5 minutes. I was wondering. I mean, I was even wondering, like, was there a reason why Furnas didn't stick around longer?
He's about to Survivor Series. He's about to go to WWF in a couple of weeks here.
So you think this was just a pass through,
I think so. Or maybe it was one of those things where they initially had plans for him, and then him and LaFon signed with the WWF. So, well, because that happened to ECW a lot.
I'm pretty sure it was it was just them waiting out like probably a Japan deal because they were going from Japan to WWE.
He would have gotten over. He would have gotten over eventually in ECW. I totally think so. I mean, he didn't get like much of a reaction at all. He got like we might know who he is, but we'll see if he's ECW or not. But I think if he would have stuck around, he would have gotten over. He would have killed people. I mean, he would have. Just look at his All Japan stuff.
I think Crawford would have got over there too.
Oh, totally.
For a different reason, but I think he would have got over it, like just for being the wrestler or whatever.
Yeah, the finish for coming out of nowhere, it was pretty odd because I even wrote down, I was like, dude, Furnas is eating him up. I mean, then at that point, I either thought the match was going to go longer, or I was like, something's going to happen because Furnas was just basically just beating up Louis the whole entire time. So
Mm-hmm.
So I expected something out of this.
And I mean, I guess we did because I wasn't expecting the match to be short, and I also wasn't expecting, honestly, against Furnas, I wasn't expecting Louis to win. So you got a little surprise victory for Louis there.
Louis sticking around. You were talking, like we just said, he's getting ready to go to Vince. This might have been it for him. So he jobbed to a guy on the way out.
Pretty much.
And were those two ever going to be, I know it's off topic.
In the WWF, no.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did they stand a chance? I mean,
no.
Yeah, I always and they even seem out of place there. Like when you watch them on like Raws and stuff from '97 and shit, it's a square peg in a round hole.
If they would have went there in '94, '95, maybe, but at that time, in that environment, and like I said, watching him and watching those two work with Owen and Davey at the start, I don't think Davey liked him because Davey fucks him on a lot of stuff. He makes him look bad a lot.
No shit.
Yeah. He said that whole time.
The first night,
first night, they're talking about Doug Furnas's amazing drop kick, and he goes to throw it on Davey, and Davey just steps aside like
sidesteps, yeah.
and Furnas just flies right by him, and Davey then does like his little kip up thing and dances around. I'm like, oh, they don't like those guys at all.
Furnas was a big deal here in Knoxville when he was breaking. In Knoxville, but really more or less in Continental.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was a big deal around here, man. He was like Well, now it's Bianca. Bianca's like the big deal around Knoxville. Everybody went to school with her. People that are 90 years old knew her when I went to school with Bianca. Everywhere you went, I know her. I'm sure you did. But yeah, he was big in Knoxville.
And then he spent the little short window in WCW. Was that when Ole was booking WCW?
Yeah, I
When
believe
Furnace-
so. That's when he had his little curly fro.
little afro. Yeah.
When him and LaFon, when they were in WWE, I think Aaron, you might know this more than me, but weren't they a victim of like being like one of Jim Cornette's kind of guys? Like, wasn't that around the time when Cornette was kind of doing commentary? And when Cornette put somebody over on commentary in the WWE, he goes overboard on it. Isn't that?
Yeah, and I think it's part of that, and it's also the fact that Jim Ross really liked
Yeah, same thing.
Doug Furnace too. You know what I mean? So it's like
Double whammy.
Yeah, and I've heard different people say that if you try to push somebody too hard to Vince, he would just have the negative reaction and not want to hear that guy's name anymore.
Yeah, I can totally
God
understand
damn,
that.
I'm tired of hearing of that. And they were they were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Wrong year, definitely.
Yeah. 2-3 years earlier, they would have been a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you think about say, okay, so we're talking 96, talk about 3 years earlier, you got the potential of them versus the Steiners in the WWF, the Head Shrinkers. They could have had some fucking bangers in fucking WWF in like 93, 94. But
yeah, I think the main reason why back in when Furnace was in WCW, the main reason why he didn't get that much of a push from Ole is because he wasn't going to stick around long enough. Because he couldn't stick around for a 6-8 month program because he's going to be in Japan, in a month and a half. So what are you going to do with him?
mm-hmm.
You might put him in a couple of squashes, but you can't invest any time into him, honestly. Because I could see Ole being a big fan of him. I don't know much about Ladong, whatever his name was, but I think Ole would have liked Furnace had he stuck around longer, or capable of it.
Well, our next match was the match that in our. Oh,
don't we have a Gertner promo?
I'm sorry.
Yes,
we
skipped
do.
over the Gertner promo, and I was gonna say it was the Joel Gertner promo, and apparently the man holding the camera was Gene Anderson. It was just like all the camera just all over the fucking place, man.
that pissed my mom off more than anything. She was sitting there going, "Can't the guy hold a goddamn camera still?"
It's Gene Anderson.
I'm trying to listen to what Gertner was saying because it's something snarky and whatever, and she's just like all disgusted. Because it was all over the place. I got to be honest on that.
I'm the quintessential stud muffin, Joel Gertner, here with my cameraman, Shaky Gene.
Shaky Gene.
Got Parkinson's or something, whatever the hell. Michael J. Fox is the cameraman.
I think this is Shaky Gene.
Dude, they do the camera angle.
A daydream believer.
they do the camera shaky angle a lot, but this one they really did it. I mean, it was really all over the place. Somebody needed a beer.
And this is Dream Believer, but it's replaced by Cheer Up Shaky G. Sorry.
Wahoo, ain't that mean?
No, it was too much. It was too much shaky, and it distracted from what Joel was saying.
If I'm correct, this is the first time he's called himself the quintessential stud muffin, I believe. So he's finally got that figured out,
at least on camera.
Right.
Yeah, it's the first time I believe he totally said on camera. Well, this is one of his really first promos, right?
Yeah, because before he's just been kind of a shit heel ring announcer. He hasn't really cut a promo per se.
Yeah. So now we're starting to get introduced to the character of Joel Gertner a little more, which is disgusting my mom too. Jesus, not wearing the shirt. She'd be perfect at the ECW arena. Why could my mom ever come to any of the ECW arena shows? She went through that beard on Brian Lee. or Dreamer or whatever.
So and then also I did write down, and I forgot to mention, I guess I skipped an entire segment here, because then Joey tells us that Pitbull 2 has been taken to a hospital in Middletown for an MRI. If he's gone to a
She'll
hospital,
never get paid for.
I was
MRI
gonna say
that'll never be paid for.
I was gonna say if he went to the hospital in Middletown for an MRI, wound up getting an enema.
Dude, there's no chance that he got an MRI that fast. Like
Right.
I have an appointment on Monday to get an MRI, and I'm still gonna have to go there and wait a couple hours. Like they don't just hand out MRIs like hey, come on in and get an MRI. It doesn't work that way. Even if your Pitbull number, take a 2. No. How does Joey know this? I mean, Tommy Dreamer had to take off his shoe to call Terry Funk. I mean, cell phones weren't exactly the biggest thing back in the day.
Yeah.
Word traveled pretty fast, didn't it?
Operator, I want to put a collect call into the Double Cross Ranch.
I thought he said Double T Diner.
I should say we'll get there, but yeah.
Well, the next thing on the show is earlier on in the chat that we have here for the podcast, Chad was pretty much like, oh, please tell me it's not going to be Dreamer and Douglas. Oh, shit, it's Dreamer and Douglas. And that's what it is. It's Tommy Dreamer and Shane Douglas for the TV title.
All of a sudden, I had to go pick up dinner. my food was waiting, and I didn't even order any food.
I saw Atlas Security out there. I don't know if this is the first time I've seen those guys or not, but
no, they've been there before. Well, maybe not so noticeably, but yeah, they've been there before.
No, I've always seen the cop dressed like I know he's a real cop, but he looks like a guy who's dressing. He looks like a guy dressing like a fake cop. But yeah, I've always seen that guy. But I just never noticed Atlas. So.
Oh, he's the best. That cop's was always the best, man. He loved that shit. Like he did. He volunteered for that shift all the time. Like he loved it. I mean, I used to talk to him all the time. Like he would do that shit for free. Because he just thought the people he liked watching the people. Like he didn't really give shit about like the wrestling and all. He just thought it was like this really goes on, huh?
That happens to me as a wrestling fan. I'll go to indie shows. Me and Aaron go to indie shows, and we wind up half of the show. You're just fucking people watching.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
they're all rubes, man. Like,
oh, you don't even want to around here. It's worse. It's got to be worse. I mean, because at least where you guys live, you got some sick deathmatch people that do that kind of nonsense. These people here, like, they're like 2 steps away from being backyard workers. Like, they haven't graduated to that part yet. That's how bad they are. Yeah, they're bad here, dude. I can't even, like, I don't even associate with them, like, even anymore. Like, unless they're just the worst person on the show. And that's pretty bad. Like, I'll talk to that guy just because I'm going to make fun of them. They're bad here.
Well, around here, 1/3 of the audience is wearing their championship belts. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ!
There is no 1/3 of an audience here. That's the audience. If you get 1/3, it's a sellout anywhere around here. They set up a few chairs, like at the shows around here. I've never seen how anybody could run a show around here and expect to make. I don't even think they're trying to make money, right? You can't. When they put up like 30 chairs, I think I counted the last time I went to the show, like 47 chairs were put up, and like they were just all over the place.
They couldn't even put out an even number. 47.
No, you can't put an 8th one out or a 48th one out.
It was grab a chair as you come in. They didn't even bother putting them up. They just had them all sitting out there, and most of them were like them elementary school chairs, the plastic ones that don't even move. Yeah, it was a hodgepodge. It was folding chairs, not even steel. They were just all kinds of different chairs.
One of those sling chairs with a cup holder in it.
The cup holder, yeah. See, they're the good ones. That's the VIP section. Fuck. I wish there was more shows around here, man. There's just not.
There isn't as much around here as there was at one time. We used to have a lot more come around our area now. Now everything I'm okay, so where we're at, we're I don't know, 90 miles from Dayton. We're 30 miles from Fort Wayne, Indiana. But I'm just not willing to drive all the way to fucking Cincinnati or some shit to watch a shitty indie show. And we just don't get them like super local here lately, like the past couple of years. We have a promotion about 30 miles away that runs monthly, but I lost interest in them a while ago. And I don't know. Our scene's not that great here either. It was better. It was much better a couple of years ago.
We just had a show here just a few weeks ago, and it was literally blocks from my house. And I had no idea that it had happened. And not only do they have a sign out in front on the road, the main road going down to like when I go to the grocery store and stuff, it's a Teamsters Hall, like and they have a sign out front. They have a sign that overhangs the highway, the major interstate that they can advertise on. Nothing. And I talked to a guy, he just texted me out of nowhere and said, "Why didn't you come to the show like last Friday or whatever?" I go, "What show?" He was like, "It was at the Brewers Hall down off Central Avenue." I go, "There was a show?" Like, it's literally blocks from my house, and I had no idea.
Now you know. Now you know why on a Saturday night, one night you loudly heard "Pour Some Sugar on Me" playing, because I mean that plays at every indie wrestling show. Now you know.
Yeah, I thought I was looking for a strip club. I know they ain't none of them around here either.
Like why you heard like "Pour Some Sugar on Me" and some guy going, "Here comes Frank the Stank." It's Frank the Stank coming up to pour some sugar on me.
Rotten peaches.
Frank the Stank. His catchphrase is "Smell my mustache."
All right. Speaking of stank, Douglas and Dreamer. I don't have a lot of notes on this match. It's kind of a mess. I mean, both of them have had more matches than me. Everybody's a fucking critic, but I wasn't a big fan of this. It was kind of a mess for me.
Yeah, they didn't do much. I don't think they did anyway.
They don't do much. Like how do I say it? Like, I'm not gonna knock Shane or whatever, but Shane and Tommy Dreamer, every time they wrestle, they have the same fucking match.
Because they don't do anything else. That's what they do. I mean, Shane beats up Dreamer. I mean, that's
and
pretty much
those two do. I noticed that. I don't know if you guys agree with me or not. So you have a lot of, obviously it's ECW. You have a lot of matches with walk-in brawls, and you have a lot of matches with extracurricular shits going on. These two tend to take it outside the ring, but just stay in between the ring and the guardrail. And in ECW, that's a very small area. Like, I don't know. Does what I'm saying make sense? Like, it's just, I don't know.
Well, because I mean, this is my guess. Is probably because they're building to something else, right? I mean, because you still got the whole Brian Lee, all that other stuff coming on. So to me it's baby steps. Yeah, they're gonna just brawl there. And then eventually it's just going to lead to the next thing, and then Brian Lee and his not getting paid by the hour fucking ass.
Is anybody else, again, like I always say, I'm rewatching a lot of this for the first time since originally, because ECW, I never went back and rewatched a lot of it. But does anybody else feel like they thought Tommy Dreamer and Brian Lee's feud wasn't this fucking long? Like, to me, like, they had like a month and a half program and it was over. These two have been feuding for like 6 fucking months at this point.
Yeah, and then Shane's like, "Oh, I can pick any mystery partner that I want, any dream partner. I'm gonna pick Brian Lee." It's like, God damn it!
It's almost not a feud. Like, it's just because it's Tommy Dreamer versus everybody else, but he ends up getting beat up by Brian Lee. So it's not a feud between Dreamer and Brian Lee. It's just Brian Lee beating the shit out of Dreamer, like when Dreamer is getting the best of somebody else. So I don't know where the feud is between them, because it's always just Dreamer getting beat up by Brian Lee, because he certainly wasn't.
It's Raven's fucking drop foot's fault.
But his His what?
his
His foot?
gout or whatever. His gout. Like it started when Raven got gout, and they had to put Tommy with somebody, and they put him with Brian Lee, and then it fucking stuck, and they never got just god damn it. And then Shane Douglas had everybody you could pick. You're like, I'll pick Brian Lee. Like, god damn it, man.
Dude, I love the dream partner situation where you can pick anybody you want as long as they're like in the locker room, but they got to be right over. It's like the Steve Martin in the Jerk thing or whatever. It's like you can anybody you want as long as they're in the locker room in this little section over there, not on the upper level, but it's got to be over there, whatever 4 chairs are. But 2 of them don't work tonight, so it's got to be.
And they have to have long hair. They have to have long hair and a bandana. They gotta kind of suck.
They have to have one time played the Undertaker.
And they can't be Mark Calloway.
And they can't be Mark Calloway.
I gotta justify paying them. That's what Paul's saying. You better pick Brian Lee.
I was born a poor black boy.
Brian Lee? He should have been. He would have had a better career. Brian Leroy.
Essentially, Shane and Dreamer have a match that ends in chicanery. And what I wrote down here was they're trying to recapture the 911 heat with Brian Lee, but it ain't working.
No.
Because you can say what you want about 911, but the choke slam was over, you know. But with Brian Lee, it just doesn't. I mean, first of all, he's not that much taller than some of the guys, even though he is a bigger dude, you know, like I don't know, his choke slam. But I see what they're trying to do here, and it ain't working.
Yeah, plus 911 had a mystique about him. Nobody knew anything about who he was. Brian Lee's been everywhere. Everybody knew who Brian Lee was. It wasn't like it was some unknown guy. It's Brian.
Yeah,
it's Brian Lee.
We all know you used to have a feathery mullet. We've seen it.
Yes.
Yeah. And shot up a school. That's what Dutch Mantell said about him on Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
No shit.
He said he was a school shooter and said he didn't know how to read. He said all kinds of shit about Brian Lee, man.
Speaking of which, I hope Dutch kicks out from what's ever going on with him.
I thought it was his wife.
As a side, no, it's both of them apparently. From what I was ascertaining from Cornette, they were both in the hospital.
Oh, he just can't let anybody else get over, can he? He's got to steal his wife's heat.
They were on the same dune buggy when it flipped.
when during this match, did we get to see the greatest chair shot that never happened with Francine? Did anybody catch that one?
No.
Oh, dude, was she gently, like she went to hit? I think she went to hit Dreamer. I think Shane was holding Dreamer with the chair, and Dreamer moved like a minute before she even began to swing the chair, but she didn't swing the chair. She was still holding the chair when she hit Shane with it. Like she put it on his head. And I was thinking oh, one of you guys had to have seen this one.
No, I don't even have anything about that in my notes. I don't know. I guess during this, I was kind of distracted during this match because it didn't interest me much. So I kind of just, my notes honestly are Douglas versus Dreamer, and then I go right into all the shit at the end. So yeah, I didn't even catch that.
It was terrible. I mean, I was hoping that somebody saw how bad that was. Oof. Well, Brian Lee came out like a monster, though, dude. I mean, he was. I mean, there was like people laying all over the place when he was killing people.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I have down here Mikey came out, Devin Storm came out. I don't think I wrote down anybody else specifically.
Yeah, because at one point Joey Styles stopped saying names.
Yeah, Louis came out too at the end of it.
Yeah, but during the middle of it,
one to get taken. Yeah, the middle of it was bookended by Mikey Whipwreck and Louis Spicoli. The rest of it was just Turd Ferguson and fucking Hambone Hardway and
Tom Petty.
Yeah,
the Philadelphia. What was it? The Philadelphia Rent Boys or whatever. They were out there. The Pittsburgh Rent Boys. They showed up.
He was killing everybody. I mean, it was just random people running in. I know I would have been one of them if I was still there.
Oh yeah, no doubt. You'd have been in that cavalcade of characters.
At least he would have said my name. I would have been
Yeah, I do remember
I would have been before
I,
Mikey.
I was kidding, but the Pittsburgh Rent Boys did come out because Joey even mentioned that they had been working for Shane to try to take out Pitbull 2, and now they were out there because they didn't like the fact that he was trying to rape Beuller or whatever.
I can't believe that Shane put a bounty on Dreamer and thought that these ham bones were going to collect on it. I mean, because during that promo, it was like, yeah, hopefully, these guys are going to collect on my bounty. I'm like, no, they're not. They're not even going to collect money for the Red Cross.
They're not even getting paid tonight at all.
No,
these guys can't even afford to buy bounty. They have to buy Great Value paper towels.
The Great Value Steel team, whatever they were.
The not so quicker picker upper.
No shit. Everybody sucks in this show tonight, apparently.
But you mentioned something, Aaron, that I did gloss over. I have to correct myself on that. Yes, one of the points of this segment, or one of the highlights of this segment, I guess, to put over Shane Douglas's dastardliness, because he's the dastardly Douglas of ECW, is he did put Beulah Beuller McGuillicuty in the full Nelson. So the end of the segment is essentially a bloody Tommy Dreamer and Beulah McGillicuddy face down on the mat. And again, just putting over, Joey, putting over the dastardliness of Shane Douglas.
She's on the way to the hospital to incur another unpaid hospital bill.
I know, right? The whole one wing hospital is all ECW unpaid. There's just a bunch of ham bones.
We're going to send her to the hospital for an MRI and an abortion. It's the two for one.
Dude. Because I mean, at one point, Joey Styles makes a comment about another ambulance.
we can't afford this.
Dude, don't you think at some point, like the police would have shut this thing down?
I guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, this is the last night ECW will ever come from Middletown. They left all the fucking bills and never came back.
Todd's like, "Hey, Paulie, you want to go back to Middletown?" And he was like, "Good Lord, no!
Oh no!
Not.
I heard the sheriff is looking for me. Yeah, I heard the sheriff is looking for me.
Do you know how much ambulance costs? Jesus Christ! Yeah.
They have my picture up at the emergency room that says, "If you see this man,"
Dude,
do not admit this man or his cohorts. They also have my picture up at 2 Circle K's.
Cohorts. This man or his cohorts.
They also have my picture up at 2 Circle K's. For the ring dings and the big beef burrito that I stole.
EC's version of dining and dashing. This is running up hospital bills and unpaid ambulances. Good thing Tommy Dreamer drove a white pickup, because if anybody had to go to the hospital next, it would have been in the back of that. Well, he did go to the hospital on his white pickup. He had to go check on Beuller.
No, I cohort.
That's probably how they say it. That's probably how, if you talk to a British person, that's probably how they actually say Beuller.
Well, we didn't have any British people on the show, I don't think, tonight.
No Lord Alfred Hayes. Oh,
No.
Actually, no, he's dead by this time. I'm sorry. Didn't he? No, he's not dead yet.
No, he's still alive. You killed him like
Beuller,
7 years before he actually died.
Beuller McGillicuty.
McGillicuty? He's still
Tell you
alive?
now.
He probably would have liked
still alive. Him and Road Warrior Hawk are still alive?
Road Warrior Hawk.
Still alive.
Still alive.
I just had crumpets with him the other day.
Didn't you know that, Jim? It's Gene!
Jim Okerlund.
People can say what they want about that shit, but it was fucking funny. I don't care.
Yep.
That fucking Lord Alfred, fucking Mean Gene, Fucking that shit's funny. Anyway,
dude, my dream was, well, not my dream, but one of my goals is to run a show around here. But now I think I'm just going to run a Temu show around here. I'm just going to have a bunch of just completely just made up, generic names like that. I'm just going to advertise the hell out of it and make it. Well, they do it anyway. That's why I'm not doing anything different. I'm just going to call it the Temu Wrestling Federation. Nothing's real. Everybody's made up.
They're like Lord Alfredo Hayes.
Alfredo.
Mamma Mia.
Mama, I'll be damned. Oh my gosh.
All right. So now it's time.
Jeans.
Oh Lord, Alfred Hayes. That's going to be his name in my Team Wrestling Federation.
Oh Lord, Alfred Hayes.
Oh Lord.
The Junkyard Frog.
Yes. Temu.
Jacques Pfeffer, here, eat your heart out.
No, he's real.
Anyway, now we get to the Joey says that Beuller is on her way to the hospital. He runs down the upcoming November to Remember card, and then we get our Pulp Fiction ending of the show.
Do you think that on the way to the hospital that like Joey or Dreamer like passed somebody coming back from the hospital on the highway and they waved at each other? Like it was somebody that was already been released from the hospital, and like, the ambulance was heading back to the show, and Dreamer's like, "Hey, I'll see. Hey, what's up?"
And everybody's looking for Paulie, and he's already gone.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
well, he wasn't even on the show.
Tommy didn't even go to the hospital. They were like, "Oh, they took Beulah," and then like he's coming out of the arena like,
in his
He didn't
pajamas.
even go to the hospital in his pajamas, on his little cell phone, his little car phone.
He wasn't coming out of the hospital at the end.
No, he's coming out of the arena.
When his window was down in this little white pickup truck, and he had his shoe phone sitting in there. Yeah, that wasn't the hospital.
No, I took it as he was coming out of the arena. And how believable is it that your phone, you're gonna have a car phone sitting in a truck in a dark street,
The
with
window's
your
down.
window down, and it's still gonna be there when you walk back out of wherever you're
Well,
at. Fuck off.
It is Middletown, New York.
That shit would have been gone.
No shit. How about that crappy truck he drove too? Good Lord. Good Lord.
Maybe that's the only reason nobody looked inside. Maybe they're like, that shit ain't gonna have nothing good in it.
Maybe he didn't have any windows. I mean, they ran out of like things to break, so Dreamer said, "Use my car window." Look.
That or he just keeps the windows down all the time because Beulah tells him to. Like, I can't be in here with you with the windows up.
He all stinks and shit.
Yeah.
Tommy
Smells like
stinker.
burnt hair and tuna. Turn the fucking windows down.
Buddha. I can see the burnt hair. God, I hate to smell Tommy Dreamer's gym bag. He doesn't have a gym bag. He don't even come to the show with any clothes.
It's like Lance Storm said about him in 1999. He said that he said Tommy Dreamer told Lance Storm that he was on steroids, and Tommy gets in shape in the gym, and Lance Storm was like, "You don't even know a guy named Jim."
Yeah.
Good one.
Pretty much. Dreamer stinks. But he somehow has enough minutes on that big ass phone of his to make the phone call.
Which I thought was, which I said is funny because like at the end he goes, "Operator, I need a direct one-to-one call to the Double Cross Ranch." He doesn't tell her what town or anything. Like, this lady's just gonna know where Terry Funk lives and say, "What the fuck?" It's so stupid.
It's one of them old time switchboard where a lady's got to unplug one thing and plug it into another. she's got coconuts on for her headphones.
I also like thinking about the call to Terry Funk, and it's like, "Hello, you have a collect call from Tommy Dreamer. Would you like to accept?" And Terry Funk's like, "No."
No.
Not
no
today.
chance. Yeah, there's
Hell
no chance he
I
even
ain't
answered the
accepting
phone.
that.
It was no chance him or Luchadori Funk answered the phone, or Marty probably answered the phone though, because she has to know everything. Tommy Hill, Tommy Hilfiger, who? Hey, Lemonhead, do you know anybody named Tommy? He's just sitting there staring.
Tommy Dramamine or what?
What is his name? Luchadori? He's all doing his Hindu squat. Not squats, it's just one. Now we're beating up poor Dory Funk.
The only other thing I can think of significance from the Pulp Fiction segment here was I am pretty excited we're going to get Eliminators versus RVD and Sabu match.
Yeah, I'm excited about anything they do with the Eliminators. They're my favorite thing going on in the company right now. So,
something tells me I don't see their first meeting being like their best meeting. I see it all the anticipation being good, and then all of a sudden, the gangsters pubic hair enemy comes out, the Steel Team comes out. That's it. That's what I see happening. Because I think this. Well, they definitely build to a bigger show with these guys, right? Is it? Yeah, they have a bigger show planned for these guys.
Yeah. And then I also noticed that, and I know we discussed it a few months ago, and then we can, unless you guys have anything else from the Pulp Fiction segment that, we haven't already beaten to death. Just one little thing that I noted, that it's now an afterthought, but remember a couple of weeks ago we were talking, or not a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago, we were talking about how they were hinting a breakup of the Eliminators, and then they didn't do it. And I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's one of those like little what ifs in wrestling. What if they would have went ahead with that? Because they didn't, but they were definitely hinting at it, and now they've backed off of it. So
totally forgot about that. I mean, not me, but they did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess whoever was supposed to go somewhere didn't go somewhere. like Saturn was probably supposed to go somewhere then and didn't. Cronus didn't know how to get somewhere, so he couldn't. So it was one of them things, yeah. But I totally see them building to a big Schmoz Fest with all them teams. The Eliminators are pretty good, man. Like they said, they're the best. At this time, they probably, besides the Moondogs, they were the best tag team in the world.
They are definitely the best tag team in ECW for sure. And
well, who's their competition? The Pittsburgh Steel Team. That's their competition.
I'm just saying in '96, they're probably the only team that there's only two other teams that you could probably say were possibly better than them.
Yeah, there's the
my opinion.
The Gangsters.
I'm not even just saying ECW. I'm just saying like in North American wrestling or whatever. I mean,
well, we've talked about this, right? We couldn't even name any other teams.
Well, I'm just saying like I'm thinking of this period in time. The only two teams you might be able to say were better, just because they were in a bigger league, would either be like the Steiners or maybe Owen and Bulldog. That's it, in my opinion.
Yeah, because around this time we've talked about it, where there really wasn't a whole big pool of tag teams, like established tag teams.
Mm-hmm.
So they totally probably were, and I'm not even thinking of outside the United States, because who else does? Fuck.
Well, overall, I'd say this was a satisfactory episode of ECW, but it's probably the least good episode we've seen in like 3 months. Does that make sense? Does that hold water for you guys?
Yeah, and the only reason I said inside the United States is because somebody might be listening to this, and they'll be like, "Well, in 1996, Wally Holly Mataguchi and Siegfried Ronkong were like the best team in the world." Like, I don't know who those people are, so fuck off. Yeah. But anyway, yes, this was
the Crusher and the Bruiser. They're only competition around this time.
Baron Von Roski Baron von Roschke and Tijo Khan.
Colonel De Beers and
one of his blacks.
Gary Hart.
But this episode, it was passable, but it wasn't great. It was just an episode, in my opinion.
Yeah, I gave it a solid C. It was decent. I mean, my best part of me watching it was watching my mom was sitting with her making comments on it because she doesn't know anything about any of these people.
Oh yeah. Hold on. That's funny you said watching with your mom because today, like I had watched a couple of days ago, I watched the first like 25 minutes of this episode, and then for some reason I had to stop watching. And then when we started talking about recording tonight, I was like, oh fuck, I never finished watching that show. So after I came home from work tonight, I finished watching it, and my wife was sitting on the couch next to me. You were talking about your mom seeing it. My wife was there, and she said during Shane Douglas's promo, she said, is his opponent's name, I assume, Tommy Dreamer? Because he kept saying Tommy Dreamer over and over and over again. She's like, I'm assuming he's wrestling Tommy Dreamer.
Did you want to know what that was?
She had no fucking clue, and she doesn't care. But I just thought it was funny that popped her. Like, and this guy said this other dude's name like 27 times in 2 minutes.
Like he dreams about him.
I think you want to fuck him.
does this guy have a crush on this Tommy Dreamer guy?
He likes big booty hoes, apparently.
Wow, Nate. He has bigger boobs than me. Because
Tommy Dreamer is a big booty hoe.
Pretty much.
Shane Douglas promo. I like a big butts, but I cannot lie.
He likes a big bust. And Dreamer's got it.
All right, we're signing off. We're out of here. We'll see you next week, everybody, as we continue reliving the extreme. Aaron, Chad, thanks for joining me.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see everybody next week. Have a great week, everybody.